Hi everyone, this is Mrs. McGee, and I love math. It's okay if you don't love math. I love it enough for all of us, and I'm here to help you understand it better. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about order of operations. Order of operations is vital to working math correctly. You have to make sure you're doing the steps in the right order or you're not going to get to the right answer. Just like if you're going to somebody's house and you do not follow directions, you're not going to get there. So we want to make sure you get to the right answer. There's 4 steps to order of operations. Step 1 is grouping symbols. Grouping symbols include many things. Grouping symbols are what we learn in elementary as parentheses, but they're also brackets. They are the square root symbol, what's inside of those. It is the fraction bar, absolute value, brackets, parentheses, all of those things are grouping symbols. The whole fraction bar, make sure you remember. So when we're doing grouping symbols, we do all the grouping symbols first. After we do that, we do roots and exponents. And many times you don't have a lot of these in an equation or an expression, but they do come after grouping symbols. And then we have multiply and divide. And what's important about this one is that you do it left to right. It will change the answer if you're not careful. And then the last step is adding and subtract. This one also has to be done left to right. When we're in elementary school, we've all learned PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's great for elementary students, but as you get older, you have to train your brain to the more complex equations. So here's the please. But P just stands for parentheses, and remember, we're doing all grouping symbols. Excuse, that's just exponents. As you get older, we're going to be doing square roots, and that's in this step as well. Please excuse my dear. That's the multiplication and division. However, when we learn PEMDAS, we need to make sure we know that multiplication and division are 2 separate operations, but they're done at the same time, left to right. So you might end up doing division before you do multiplication if it's in front of the multiplication. And then the last thing is adding and subtracting. Again, just like step number 3, this is done left to right. So you might actually do a subtraction problem or a subtraction operation before you do the addition operation when you're working left to right. So PEMDAS is okay to help you remember all the different operations, but you have to bump it up to your math as you get older. So let's look at a problem with order of operations. Let's say, for instance, that we have 8 divided by 2 times 10. Well, we just talked about our order of operations, that we have to work left to right. Many times people want to do this multiplication first, and this looks like it's a grouping symbol, but you have to know what a grouping symbol is. A grouping symbol is what keeps an operation inside. This is just a 10, and in this case, the parentheses indicates multiplication. So we're going to multiply and divide left to right. Well, we have a division that's happening first. So as we're doing this division, we're going to do 8 divided by 2 before we multiply. So 8 divided by 2 gives me 4, and then we multiply it by 10 to get 40. So 8 divided by 2 times 10 equals 40. Many people who would do this incorrectly would multiply the 2 times 10 and they would get 8 divided by 20 because they think they have to do the multiplication first. That is not correct. So make sure you're training your brain to do it left to right so that you get the accurate answer. Thank you for watching the video. If this was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.